Hello, my friends, and welcome to Italy, a place to love YouTube channel, the channel where I like to talk about the good, the bad, and all we have to know about Italy. So, today video is again about the holiday home. So, if is it convenient to buy a holiday home or not? So, we are not talking about a place where to relocate 100% all the year around, or we are not talking about an investment, but so we are talking again about if is it convenient to buy a holiday home. And I go back to one of the comments that one of my subscribers wrote under my last video about this topic. So basically, he's talking about a third, let's say, um, there is something that I haven't talked about, and is the time. So he's talking about the time, and he says in Italian, I'm gonna read in Italian, anche il più fedele dei ritornanti che sogna di rivedere ogni estate la stessa spiaggia potrebbe avere solo 3 settimane di ferie all'anno. So basically, we buy a holiday home, and so obviously, if it's a holiday home, how long we can stay there, how much time would we spend over there? Maybe, I don't know, can be a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months, depends about the time that we have available, all right? So basically, that's what he's saying. So even the lover of this house, who would like to go back every year to see again the same beach. Anyway, he might have only 3 weeks holiday a year, for example. Okay, this is a point. Um, but I will answer later. So first, I want to make his point, and he's actually right. So the time that we might spend in this property that we have purchased might not be enough, let's say, might not be a lot. E questo cambia tutto perché quando il tempo è scarso anche l'attaccamento emotivo non basta a giustificare il peso economico e logistico della proprietà. So, what does he want to say here with this sentence? So, this is a game changer, let's say. This changes everything because when we don't have enough time, even the feelings that we have towards this property might not be enough to, let's say, justify the economical expenses that this property has, and also the logistic of the property. All right, so the logistic might mean, I think, maybe the furniture that we buy for the house. So the money, it's about the money. So not only the cost of the property and the maintenance, but obviously also furniture and upgrades of the house that we have purchased. Now, I totally agree with these points. I cannot disagree. E poi c'è il colpo di scena, then there is the surprise, let's say, la telefonata inaspettata del vicino. So, the call from the neighbor, the unexpected call from the neighbor. So, Antonio, c'è un problema. Antonio, there is a problem. All'improvviso non stai viaggiando per piacere, ma per dovere. So, suddenly you are not traveling to this place for the pleasure of traveling, of going on holiday, but you are traveling because you must travel. So there is an issue. All right. Fine. So la vacanza diventa una missione di salvataggio, non è libertà, è un guinzaglio. So what does he say here? The holiday becomes a mission, let's say, to rescue what has to be rescued, let's say what has to be fixed, because you got a call and you have to run. That's true. So it's not freedom, but it's a kind of lead that is keeping you. and controls you, and is taking partially even part of the freedom, if I'm not getting wrong, from your life. All right, so this is the points that he put on the table. Then, let's say, let me finish to read. Sto cercando di rendere la mia risposta meno strategica, così non ti senti obbligato a fare un altro video. He's saying, so I put the things like this, you don't have to make another video, but anyway, I find it interesting. It's a topic of this channel, you know, to buy properties. So it's always important to know if it's the right decision or if it's the wrong decision. So, ma a pensarci bene, non c'è due senza tre, so there's no two without three, this is what we say in Italian, non c'è due senza tre, so there's no two without three, so, and here is the tree. Okay, so now let's make the point my understanding, okay, about it's not like I'm in favor of buying a holiday home, but I want to, in this case, I want to call it what we say in Italian, l'avvocato del diavolo, so the solicitor of the devil. So I want to take, obviously he's taking his part, he's saying his opinion, and I want to try to defend the other side, even if I don't disagree 100% with these points. What I see behind the holiday home, what do I see behind the holiday home? I see two things that suddenly, so since the last, let's say, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, I've noticed that becoming the owner of a property is a kind of problem. Now, if we go back to 5 years ago, this had never been a problem. Simply never. It's something that no one ever technically questioned to themselves. Actually, having a property was like playing Monopoly, let's say. But again, in the last 5 years, we noticed that something has switched, something has changed. I see, for example, in many videos on the web, saying that it's not convenient, not even anymore, to buy a house where to live. In many, why? Why? Because, let's say, even a house where to live is becoming one of these places that have a lot of costs to keep going on. Let's start from the mortgage. I'm not talking now about a holiday home. So let's say I have the mortgage to pay, and I have the property tax to pay, and if I have the mortgage, I also have to pay the insurance, plus maintenance, plus bills. So it seems like nowadays, be the owner of a property became something like, okay, better not to. Oh, on top, I forgot to say, the bubble that we are living. So the prices, the property prices are at the all-time high. Nearly everywhere prices are not going up, because prices are not going up anymore. Has been a while. It's 2 years that the prices are stable. So I don't believe any outlet that is telling me that the prices are going up. Anywhere, can be in the United States, in England, in Germany. I don't want to use a bad word, but so you got it. For me, this is not true. But so basically, it seems like it's better to not be the owner of a property. And so, okay, better to pay the rent. So me and my family, we pay the rent, we sleep well, we don't have problems. We don't have mortgage, we don't have insurance. This is something that, okay, it's a landlord problem, I don't care. But, what is the other side of the coin, okay? Because this is what I see, this is what I always seen behind being the owner of a property. And basically is what my parents taught me, what my parents always told me, Antonio. So buy a property, you are the owner. So once you are the owner, you have an asset. It's called asset. Okay. Now, let's switch again to the holiday home. It's still an asset. If I don't own this house, but I'm renting a holiday home each year, I'm not the owner of any asset. So I think I'm making the point. So the only reason now, I know very well that the expenses of owning a property are simply increasing, are going kind of mad. Um, Construction costs, renovation costs are higher, bills are higher. But so then we should study the subject why all these prices are going up. Who is controlling this situation? And I'm not going into this topic. It's not my job, even if we should question ourselves what's going on in the world. I mean, suddenly we all switch and suddenly we all don't want to own anymore a property. But, but the rich, where let's say I rent a place, that place as a landlord, that landlord maybe has 10 properties, 15, 20, 100, who knows? So the rich people are the ones who are owning all the properties. So with my rent, I'm making a rich richer. Simple as easy. And but because I'm middle class and I don't, not even middle class, let's say lower middle class, I own two properties, and my taxation is going high, and I even have to question myself, okay, baby, maybe better not to own any properties because I cannot afford with my job, my salary is low, is not going with inflation. These are very, very complicated topics, and we should all question ourselves who is driving, who is controlling all this situation, all right? Because I don't want to make a rich richer, I don't want to make, it's not me that I want to make a landlord richer, because then if I rent, I don't own any asset. And the final point that I want to make is, let's say I own three houses, four, two, one. Okay. So it's an asset that at least I will pass to the next generation, to my children or to my nephews if I don't have children. You get me? It's still an asset. And this for me is the point why it's always good, even if the prices are increasing, to maintain a property. That's why it's always good. Now, if my parents are the owner of three properties, my parents, I wish them very long life. I don't care, about these things, but they still own three houses. So basically, I know very well that between me and my sister, we will share the wheel one day. Easy? Okay. So this is an asset that is coming into my hands. And this asset is generated. Then I can decide to do whatever I want. Well, okay, maybe I don't want to own three houses. I want to own only two. I will sell that. The one that I sell will generate money, will give me money that I can invest in another way. So it gives me the power. That's what I want to say in the end. That being the owner of a property gives you the power. Okay, we are in an historical period where everything is going up, the maintenance, but again, I'm the owner of a property, and okay, I have to consider that this property has expenses. Then, obviously, I will always put, I have a budget, I have an income, and obviously, if it's draining my money, maybe if it's the second house, maybe if it's the holiday home, and I see that to maintain this property costs me more than the money that are entering, more than the income that I generate, I might say, okay, I'm gonna sell it. But I sell that property, I sell my holiday home for lower than I bought, for higher than I bought. Doesn't matter. I have a lump of money. that I can decide to invest in the way that I want to invest. Money gives you freedom. Money gives you freedom, simply. It's not difficult as a concept. So that's why I will never personally, being the solicitor of the devil, I will never be against being the owner of the property, of a property. Okay, you have to put some extra efforts, but maybe this situation won't last forever, where it's difficult or expensive to keep a property. Maybe, you know, everything goes up and down. There are periods where there are phases. And so this could be one of the phases where, okay, property tax is quite high, but then we should ask our politician, doesn't matter left or right, okay? Because here I never make any distinctions. I don't support one and I don't support another one. Who supports someone is already wrong. And unsubscribe if you want to unsubscribe, if you think that this way of thinking, but simply I never benefit anything at all in my life from a politician, never done, all only me. But anyway, I'm changing topic, and that's not important, that's not the point. But being the solicitor of the devil, I see it that as the more properties are owned, these properties can always generate an income. If they rent out, you have a holiday home, you can rent it out. With that rent, for sure, you're gonna make little profit, better little profit than nothing. On top of all the expenses that you have maybe you make 20% profit out of 100, let's say, from all the income that you generate. It's still better than nothing. It's profit. It's this word profit. So I want to put to your attention, I want to bring to your attention the fact that even if the middle class nowadays loses this chance to own properties or is giving up with owning properties, again, if you never owned, now I'm referring to you, if you never owned this second home, now you wouldn't have an asset to sell that gives you money, or you wouldn't have an asset to rent that might give you even a tiny profit. Then you don't want to rent because maybe you feel it like it's your home, you don't want any strangers living in that place. Fine enough. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But again, it's a choice, and it's always better to have a choice than to not have it. Because again, if I don't own any properties, first of all, I will leave, and I won't leave anything to the next generations. So if you have children, you say, okay, my dear children, I'm sorry, I don't have any will to give you. For example, the Italians are always focusing on what to pass to the next generation. Then doesn't matter the way the next generation is using this money, but at least, um, you are leaving something that without, I would never, the next generation will find themselves with the flies in their hands. We say, con un pugno di mosche. That's what we say in Italian. I will find themselves with a fist full of flies, which means nothing. All right. So basically, I'm always in favor of being the owner of a property. Now, it's not only the solicitor of the devil. I can understand all the problems that this property is generating, but that's also the pleasure. It's the salt of the life. È il sale della vita. It's the pinch of salt. So it's a challenge. What do I want? A life without challenges? Only make a rich richer? That's not me. That's not me. So I always have to be smart anyway to not do the step, il passo più lungo della gamba, the step longer than your leg, let's say, to just literally translate this expression. So I'm not gonna take a longer step than I can make it, because that can put myself in a difficult situation. So we have to be self-centered, analyze properly, understand. So then, if it's possible to do it, do it. Again, Then I can close the video by saying I recommend always to buy in that you might not be, you might not agree, but I never buy a property when the property is at the peak of the market. I always buy when it's at the bottom, always. And if it's not at the bottom, at least in a depressed area. Because even the depressed area in 10 years might change. Or in an unwanted place, for example, where the prices are lower. I don't know. We don't know the future. It's a bet, all right? In the worst scenario, as I always say, the less I spend, the less I lose if the prices are dropping. So, my friends, this is, I think, my last video about this topic, about the holiday home. To my subscriber, I hope you are all, not only you, my dear subscriber, Noel, I can call you by name, you are all satisfied about this video. And anyway, I'll try anyway always to discuss about these topics in general, about owning the properties, which now I divide in 3 categories always. When we are talking about the second property, not the main residence. So holiday home, okay, relocation home, if you're an expat and you want to relocate, but still always recommending you to never sell your main property, always to keep your, if you're an expat, keep always one property in the country where you're from. At least you have a plan B, because it's always important to have a plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, plan E. As many plans you can make it, believe me. And then anyway, so holiday home, if you are an expat who wants to relocate, or if you are someone who wants to buy a property to generate an income, so to rent it out. These are the 3 categories that I've been able to define when we're talking about properties. All right, my friends. So, I didn't say, to like and subscribe to my channel. I didn't say in the beginning of the video, please join my Facebook group, Italy, a place to love. I've noticed that one person, anyway, took a picture of herself, and she says hello. She wanted to introduce herself to the group. So you're also free. You don't have necessarily post a picture, something Italy related. You can also, if you like, post a picture of yourself, saying hello to everyone. So I've reached 300 people who follow my group, who join I'm already very happy with 300 people. Okay, and so my friends, after this, I hope you're all happy, you're all having a lovely weekend, and I'll see you here on Italy, a place to love YouTube channel. Bye!